Wes called me up and he said, you know, I got these 20 pages, you know, should I send them? I said, yeah, send them. And I said, wow, I love it. And it was basically the intro of Zsa-zsa and the first sequence with his daughter. And it was just so rich in detail and original and funny and sad. It was just so layered. I mean, as an actor, you're looking for parts like this. And when they come, you just bite, you know, and don't let go. So I was quite flattered with the part, and so it was a no-brainer, really. We meet this man who's a big tycoon businessman who, right off the bat, he's got enemies. We know he's got enemies. And in order to save his family fortune, he brings his daughter to be his heir. And we quickly find out that he's got 10 kids and his daughter is the oldest one. And we quickly find out that he's neglected his daughter. He hasn't seen her in the last maybe 10 years or so, or 6 years. And, you know, so through that, he lets her know why he's summoned her. And he tells her that he's got his most important project of his lifetime, which is the Phoenician scheme or plan. And what it is he's building some dams and some train tracks, and he's building this kind of like a city in the middle of the desert, kind of like maybe Las Vegas, once upon a time, something like that. It's a big project. And so she's, you know, he's telling her how this is going to be done, and she's doubtful about this plan and about him as well. And then suddenly his enemies start changing the game. So he has to, in order to save the family fortune, he has to lock in all the investors. And he's got about 6 of them. And so he's got to travel all over the place, and he's doing anything he can to close the deal before it's too late. You play with the best, you know. You know, here we are. You know, we have Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Riz Ahmed, Jeffrey Wright, Mathieu Amalric, Scarlett Johansson, Benedict Cumberbatch, and then you have Bill Murray, Willem Dafoe, F. Murray Abrams. There's so many actors that come into Hope Davis. You have so many great actors that come in to do. Some of them are little parts, and it just, everything just gets better. It's just, all the scenes get better because of the talent that, you know, and Wes attracts, but it's also his writing. And his filmmaking. Let the inner child play. And I think as an actor, you always have to tap into that. And I think in a Wes Anderson movie, it's a great place, it's a great playground. His body of work, the team he has that I've worked over the years with him as well, his vision. And I think his writing is just, he's just extremely human. Even though these characters are bigger than life, but they're very human, and they're sad, they're funny, they're dangerous. There's so much to play in there. And maybe sometimes the best thing is to do nothing, because the writing does it for you. that I kind of like learned quick. You know, it's just like, you know, let the words take me. But I think it's all of that, and also the atmosphere that he creates. He creates a very family-oriented type of atmosphere on the set and off the set. It's amazing to see the sets, you know. It's really incredible to walk in, read something, and then go in and then maybe see it in the storyboards and then see it in person. Maybe like seeing pictures of Rome and then going to Rome. It feels a little bit like that, you know, where you just see you know, a painting. You read about a painting, you see it on a photograph, and then you see it in person. And that's kind of like how it feels in a way with Wes. You read it, then you see it in the drawings, and then you actually see it three-dimensionally, and you're in it. And it's trippy, you know. It's trippy. And it's great. It helps your interpretation. Through the picture, she will, in little moments, she will make him realize things and make him understand things and make him see his own faults. And in the end, it is that relationship between father and daughter that turns Zsa-zsa into a better human being. I think Zsa-zsa is always going to be a little bit of a rascal, you know. He's always going to be a human being. But I think at the end, he gets what I think he was not aware of, but I think he was, which is he wanted to have a second chance for all the time he wasn't there for his daughter. In the end, she gives him that second chance, and he realizes that what's important is you know, family, not so much the material stuff. Even though at the end he's still trying to make money, but what's important is, in order to be happy, you just have to be happy with yourself and the ones you love and the ones that you should love. And I think that's if there's a moral to the story, or one of them, I think that's one of them. Well, you know, Mia, you know, she knew every line, everyone's line. You know, she was very prepared, which was nice to have an actor that is, you know, sometimes she might even correct some of my lines. And she's super talented, and you know, you know, just great. Her presence is very strong, so she was not intimidated by Zsa-zsa. And Michael is super funny. He's just super funny to be on the set, you know, and you know, he's terrific, also, and also, but you know, it's funny when you're working with an actor and you have an actor that is, you know, that they're like in character or committed to the part, and it's nice to work with actors like that. You know, they're younger than me, and I've never worked with any of them, but it was a pleasure to work with both of them. And what happens is they make you better, really, and that was kind of like my experience with both of them. I just think they're terrific in the film, and it was a lot of fun. I think the movie is so rich that it's impossible to watch it one time and get it all. I think it's one of those movies that pulls you in to want to watch it again. And I've been in some movies that might be like that, and you know, I call them movies that have legs, that they will, you know, travel in time. And I think, you know, Wes has many of these films, let's face it. But this one is another one. And it's kind of like amazing seeing Wes at this stage of his career.